It's so good, y'all. Sometimes cleaning is necessary because of something that many of y'all probably don't know about. Manual labor. Manual labor. Sometimes cleaning is necessary because of physical exertion. Constantly doing a whole lot of stuff. Sometimes cleaning is necessary. You ain't got to be did anything. Just being exposed to uncomfortable climates. All of a sudden you sitting and getting somebody's house or go somewhere. Who was it that told me? I got a chance to see my boy Walt yesterday, and he said he went to a football game. All he did was go and sit down. He, just went and sit down. But he was in the heat. The sun was beaming. And just from being in a climate and the way these bodies are created to cool itself, we perspire so that you don't dry out. You're able to clean yourself by getting in the shower, getting in the tub, or like we used to say, my mom used to say, go take a quick wash off. I remember somebody, I forgot who it was, somebody told me, they said they called it a wipe down. Go take a quick wipe down. But unfortunately, you got people who've been trained and taught to know how to clean externally. But how do you cleanse spiritually? How do you cleanse? This is what the purge is talking about. There's certain things inside that's growing and certain things that's developing on the inside of us is growing, and the problem is it's healthy, but it shouldn't be growing. It's healthy, but it shouldn't be growing. Godliness, prayer life, studying your word. Man, feed it. Let it grow. But all of a sudden, you got, because y'all do know that they got church people who are in church and they still struggling with adultery. They're struggling with fornication. And I'm not talking about those on the outside. I'm talking about on the inside. Jesus said, every branch in me that's not producing, you still don't get it? He said, he cuts it away. Y'all, I used to just look at it from a physical standpoint of, like looking at a tree, and once a branch looked like it's start dying. Like you can have a tree, and y'all saw that before, where you have a tree, and they got all these leaves, all these branches, but then they got one branch that come out, and for whatever reason, it look like it's just dead. We've seen that before, but that's not necessarily what the scripture's talking about. The scripture's talking about pruning away something because it's growing and it's healthy. And if it keeps growing, it's going to all of a sudden become dominant in the life of that tree. So now, there's certain things got to get cut. Certain things got to get cut. And you like, man, is it hard to cut? Is it painful to cut? You think about some of the stuff that we done did in our lifetime, in the years we've been doing it, and all of a sudden somebody tell you, stop it! You're like, okay, I'm going to stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. So now, the pain, oh Lord have mercy, the pain of the recurring issue that's bringing so much heartache has got to become greater than the pain of cutting it off, Curtis. So now I got to realize I need to start vesting my life and my time in these other areas that are producing, that are prosperous. I need to take some of this time that I'm putting in my cell phone, and if I'm in my cell phone, I need to make sure it's some time that's in my word. It's got to be some time that I can use these instruments for righteousness. Because the amount of time you spend on that certain page, you know the one I'm talking about, is healthy. And if you stay there too long, it's going to grow. And before you realize it, if it grows so much, it'll start occupying more time and more territory in your life. And before you realize it, it's almost like somebody getting a job, Curtis, and they want that money so bad, but before you realize it, the pursuit of that money is so great that now it also took the opportunity of understanding the importance of fellowship.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't grow independently if there is nothing called a mutual accountability. This is why family God has established so that a godly set of parents can produce a godly seed.
Okay.
Is this making sense, everybody?
I like that.
Many know how to clean naturally, but have no clue how to clean spiritually. Believe it or not, you really bless me if you take from me what I can give you. Y'all please get this. Because a lot of times we're in a society now where we got a whole bunch of takers, but not necessarily people who are excited about giving. I need y'all to understand that the scripture says it's more important, more blessed to give than it is to receive. Everybody says it's more important to give.
More important to give.
See, man, but that spirit of religion will make you think, oh, they're talking about giving money. No, if you understand the concept of what God is talking about, it's not talking about just what you got in your pocket. Because if you are a giver, it's going to make you give whatever and everything to the degree of building the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
You ask somebody, I don't care how much you got. I remember when I was young, man, we used to go to the country. We'd be in St. Francisville. And my grandfather and my grandmother would tell me, I would notice that right in the yard, they got a big old fig tree in the yard on the right side of the house. The tree taller than the house. But then right in front of the house, they got two big pear trees. And then outside by the pond, going toward the front gate, they got rows of pecan trees. And I remember I used to be like, man, has there anybody you ever got a chance to eat fruit that you actually pulled off a tree and ate it rather than being in the store and buying it when it's all nice and shiny? I remember one time, y'all, this no lie. God bless my grandmother, because she's a strong woman of God. She died many years ago. But I remember one time coming from, I'm from New Orleans, so I'm a city boy, so I'm used to seeing fruit that, look nice and shiny. And I remember one time I went out there, and there was some pears, and I remember one of them had like a little brown spot and had a little hole in it, right? And I'm like, ugh, I don't want that. And I was like, I don't want this one. And my grandmother said, boy, that's the best ones. Would you believe my grandmother? Let me tell you something. I know y'all not there because I wasn't there either. My grandmother took that pear, bit into it, and when she bit into it, I saw like a little worm in it. See, it's different. See, when you're a city slicker, you just don't, I'm sorry, y'all. What I'm trying to say is, you have a deeper level of appreciation. That was her tree and her yard. She said, I'm going to receive the benefit of my labor. She taught me a lesson. Not like, and I don't be eating like worms and stuff like that. But it still made me understand that you have a different level of respect for something. Y'all, there is something that is so very important when it comes down to the purge. Because one thing I need you to know, everybody say, Lord, make me a giver.
Lord, make me a giver.
Let me tell you something. The reason why we need to understand this is because as blessed as a tree is when it's producing fruit, if a little boy like myself climb up the tree and pull a pear, who's blessed the most? The person with the fruit or the tree?
The tree.
Y'all know that I done this already. The tree is more blessed. See, sometimes you wondering why you're not being blessed or why you're not increasing. Sometimes you still holding on to too much. Sometimes you're not increasing because you got to be able to take that what you have. See, sometimes that's why that stingy mindset, that stingy mentality says that if I give away what I got, eventually I ain't gonna have nothing and I'm gonna just be broke. No, the way God works, the more you give, the more you're gonna produce. If a tree that is a pear tree or orange tree, if nobody ever plucks from the tree, the life that's in the fruit will return back to the tree and it will begin to stun the growth of the tree. The tree would not produce to the capacity that it really could unless somebody came and cut on it, got more fruit. Why would he expect us to produce more fruit? If the whole object is for us to keep it all to ourselves, he said if you keep it to yourself, you're going to die. The purpose of the purging is to make you produce much more. Because evidently the Lord knows that we've been planted around people who are starving. Notice I say a compliment. I'm not talking about manipulation, because they got a lot of people that give compliments because they know it's something that they want in return. But a genuine compliment, a godly compliment, like Sister Kiera was able to give to Minister Sokola, I don't have to ask Minister Sokola, how did that make him feel? To hear that. How often do you compliment somebody? When was the last time you actually received a compliment? When was the last time you gave one? Look at the people that's most important to you in your life. How much are you building? How much are you giving them fertilizer? How much are you giving them water? How much are you making sure that they're getting sunlight? How much are you still able to correct them also? Because correction is a part of the pruning. But if all you can give is correction, and you can't compliment, you got a spirit of criticism. And when somebody is that critical, it's almost as if they thrive on pulling somebody down to hurt you, almost like to kill you. See, that's why you got to be careful, because if you don't have the capacity to compliment somebody, you better believe that person may wind up finding themselves somewhere where somebody is complimenting them.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
Ooh, boy. Come on now, let's talk about this type of stuff, because you know what? Yes, it's wrong all day to commit adultery, but we got to get to the source. What is it that a person feels like they're doing so wrong and they feel like they're not getting no kind of encouragement? If your life is built on tangible things, believe it or not, you are shallow. Because tangible things come and go. Tangible things will leave you. I need to encourage somebody today. I need to compliment somebody today. You know, if somebody pray for you, man, I got a chance to go see my partner last night. Yo, we done. We can stand up to our feet. I got a chance to go see my partner, and he left. And man, my boy, the one who I went to go by, he was cooking, and he had some gumbo stir, and started frying fish. Then he started frying shrimp. And my boy Walt was like, I'm about to go, and I said, I'll be out a little bit later. Because I was still hungry. And by the time I finished eating with them, and next thing you know, we all started talking. Right before I left, guess what, y'all? They gave to me. Do you value who gives to you? I value who gives to me. They gave to me. So they started asking me, where's your church at? This and that, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? But I said to myself, you know, they may not make it. But just in case they don't, I need to give back to them. I said, I'm getting ready to leave. I said, but before I leave, I said, can I pray for y'all real quick? And it was like, oh, yes, sir. Thank you so much. And we get up and we start praying. And while we're praying, I found out that right before we prayed, I found out that they had just moved into this house, nice big old house. They said they'd only been in the house for 2 months. You know, I found out just through talking that somebody was having problems on the job. Just different little things was going on. So guess what I did when I prayed? I prayed about every single thing that I heard us talk about. Every single thing. From praying for the kids, to praying for the job, the business, praying for the house, asking God for increase. And guess what? Before I realized it, I just started noticing that, you know, a couple of them started wiping their eyes. Like tears started falling. Yo, we got to know how to be givers. If you can't give, a lot of times it's because you feel like you're almost on empty yourself. So I want to let every one of you know that no matter what you've been through, no matter what you're going through right now, you have not escaped the realm of the potential of receiving every single thing that God promised you.